Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Division One Finals. This is the Spring 2023 season finale. This is the championship match, the title match. My name is Joe, and I'm joined by Talia Cervantes from SLU. She is one of their players. She's not playing, but she is commentating and cheering on her teammates. So let's dive right in. This is Mizzou versus SLU. Last time we saw this in the finals was actually in the inaugural season. So, Talia, do you remember that season at all?
Um, First of all, thank you for having me. No, I don't remember that season. I don't think I was at SLU at the time. Um, actually, actually, no, never mind. Maybe I was watching it. Maybe I was watching it like randomly on Twitch. And then I decided to join and keep going. And I talked with some other players in the chat. But no, beyond that, I don't have much recollection. But I'm excited to see this repeat happening in the 2023 edition.
Yeah, so the first season was back in 2020, and we saw Mizzou beat UCLA in the semifinals like right before. It was back when we were doing a double elimination style tournament. It was the very first season. And then we actually streamed it on the main chess channel on Twitch as well as YouTube. And SLU ended up winning that match. So I think that you guys haven't won a championship since then. So I think you guys might be the favorite to win. Although I believe Mizzou beat you guys in the regular season, and that's why they're the number one overall seed. How many matches did
Yeah,
you play this year?
I don't know, but usually I play more in like the first round of matches, I guess, like where all of the teams are still uh in the first stage without qualifying onto the next ones. I think actually, yeah, the last match I played was against Mizzou, and that's the match that we lost. But today, instead of me, Stavrula is playing, so hopefully she does a lot better for the team.
And Stavrula had a phenomenal match last week. You guys took down UTRGV, who were the defending champions. And I wanted to look at, well, this is Josiah Stearman from Mizzou. He's their board three. He's an international master. He's playing up against Benjamin Bach, who I was actually
Mhm.
watching play earlier today, trying to qualify for like the Olympics or something. But he has
Right.
this really interesting moves here. He takes on
Yeah.
B6, and instead of black taking on C4 with tempo on the queen, I guess allowing this trade, he plays
Right.
queen D6, and now bishop back to D4. So why is
It's
Bach not
crazy.
taking?
I assume he's not taking because of queen takes
Ah,
b7.
yes. Okay.
Uh, yeah, probably. And then you have the rook on a hanging and the bishop on e7 as well. Like after queen takes e4, the bishop on e7 is hanging too. So it's just crazy. Yeah, I was also looking at it now, just how he can retreat the bishop without any problem. But I guess something to notice is that Josiah is like very good in not rapid, like blitz chess, online chess. And Benjamin is also kind of known sometimes for getting low on time. And here you can clearly see the difference in the clock. So I'm a little bit worried for Benjamin,
Yeah.
but anything can happen in this blitz games.
Yeah, it looks like Josiah has the favored position as well as the favor on the clock. Like Bach is already below 2 minutes. Josiah's still over 4 minutes. But let's check out the rest of the games here. You were mentioning Stavrula is one of actually your roommate.
She is my roommate, so I am always rooting for her in this tournaments. And I know that last week after she finished her match, I knocked on her door and gave my congratulations to her for such a good performance. So hopefully this week goes well too. She's very excited about it. This is her last year at SLU, so she really wants to do well for the team.
Wow. So she has an opportunity here to go out as a champion, and
Yeah.
she's playing against Oparin. I think last week against UTRGV, she won 3 out of 4 games, only losing to Dragoon, who's obviously a very strong player, but she was actually winning that
Hmm.
game.
Yeah, yeah.
So she was like super close to actually sweeping the UTRGV team. Do you think she has good chances to do that against this Mizzou team?
I think she's a very underrated player. Like a lot of people won't expect, but she definitely holds herself well against grandmasters. So I'm sure that she's gonna have a few upsets in this tournament, playing against higher rated opponents. But let's see how her current position is.
So it's
Um,
Oparin's turn. She does have the white pieces, but Oparin has the bishop pair. Oparin's king, though, is on f8. So let's see
yeah.
how that happened. This is a
So this
Caro
was
Khan defense.
mhm, right.
So
Um,
the g pawn was attacked by
mm,
queen g3. So
right. Usually, I would say usually in these lines, it just looks so scary to well, it wasn't really a possibility in this position, but it would just look so scary to castle short. Like if the knight wasn't on g8, then the king would castle short. That just opens up the position for white to attack with all of their pieces, especially the two bishops and the queen. So somehow, even though it doesn't look like it originally or based on principles, the king on f8 seems a lot safer than if the king was castled. So um, so far, it's very solid.
yeah, so she's up on time. She's just castled her king, connecting her rook, so she's ahead in development. Super
Mhm.
solid position, especially against Oparin. So it will be interesting to see. Obviously, we know Oparin is one of the best, if not the best player in the league. So he's gonna have to try to fight back and get into this game somehow against a tricky player, Stavrula. But let's check on SLU's top rated player, Nico Theodorou. He's taking on Harshit Raja. He's at 3,099, so he's almost 3,100. Maybe if he wins this, he'll get past that point. But how do you like his position with black?
I think his position looks pretty good. However, I need to understand a little bit more what's going on. I really like the bishop on a7, just kind of looking from afar towards the direction of the white king. Uh, let's see, because it looks kind of complex. Like obviously he has these ideas of f4, but white also has two bishops looking directly at Nico's king. So it's still a little bit tricky. I'm glad that he's up on time, but the position looks nice for Nico, I would say.
Yeah, Raja's under a minute actually. He only has
Hmm.
36 seconds. Nico just under 2 minutes. So that's gonna be very tough. Speaking of time pressure, let's check in with Bach again. He's under 15
Right.
seconds.
Oh my God. Okay, I don't think that's a position you want to be against any player, obviously, but Josiah is very tricky, so I'm a bit concerned.
Is
Um,
that a free piece on c6?
it looks like it. I mean, Bishop c6, Rook c8 doesn't do anything because the Rook was protected.
Yeah,
Like,
and there's no back
yeah,
rank because the knight also covers e1. So yeah,
right.
looks like Josiah is gonna get a big win for Mizzou here.
Yeah. Bishop c3, there's Rook takes and no
Yeah.
problem.
So okay,
Uh,
discovery on the knight. So
there's 91 though.
true.
Just making sure that there is nothing. Yeah. Hmm.
91. Rook gets the second. Check. And now defend the b pawn. Yeah, this
I mean,
should.
if yeah, if Black had at least some pawns, but they're actually down on pawns, so yeah, I don't think this is holdable.
Uh, let's check in Robbie versus Antipov. We haven't looked at that one yet.
Right.
So
And oh, and Antipov has 20 seconds, 21 seconds, so um yeah. But I like Robbie's position. The pawn on d6 looks weak. Well, he's also a
he's up
material.
and up. He is up in exchange. Yeah.
Yeah, he's up an exchange. Yeah, sorry, I just looked at the pawn on d6 and I was like, oh, but there are more important things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Robbie's looking good. He's up on time, up an exchange.
Yeah.
And Antipaz is a very strong player, also over 2,900. So the top two boards for Mizzou are over 2,900. But Robbie, board three, he's doing better here than Antipov. And
Right.
looks like Robbie's trying to trade off some pawns.
Yeah, he should be able to win this, especially with the time difference. So I'll just
Yeah,
trust that he does his thing.
let's check back in with Stavrula versus Oparin. This is maybe a bit closer of a game here. And
Mhm.
Stavrula, let's see, we were liking her position. It looks like they ended up trading queens, and the open H file for Oparin, he doesn't use it. He's trying to save his D pawn, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to use the H file because the rooks are so far away that you can't really imagine doubling them up. But the double pawns in the center could be a problem for Savrula. Yeah, now he's going after the pawn on e5. Maybe there's knight c5 in this position.
Hmm. Knight c5 is attacking the b pawn.
Okay. Knight d3. Okay.
Or the d pawn, yeah.
Uh,
Okay, and she's left with some isolated pawns.
yeah, that's kind of a problem. Yeah, also, once again, like time, it's so difficult to hold a position with so little time.
Yeah, she only has 4
Hmm.
seconds here. It looks like she's going to be dropping some pawns after this last move.
Yeah, but usually, I mean, the recommended strategy is to keep the pieces active. So I think that's what she was
She,
trying to do, keeping the rook on the d file. But now there may be some tricks with like rook c1, knight f3 or something.
so Theodoru and Robbie both just won for SLU. So starting off
Okay.
2-0, but Stavrula flags there against very strong Oparin. And we have one game left, Josiah
Hmm.
versus Bach. And oh my goodness,
What is
Bach has turned it around. We counted him out. He was down a
okay?
whole piece. What happened?
How did this happen? Oh my goodness. Okay, it's still not so clear, but it's more of a game now than it was before, for sure.
Unbelievable. Both players at 10 seconds or less.
Yeah, does he need to go back with the
Okay.
no, but rook oh, okay. Maybe he's gaining some time and then rook b2. Wait,
Is he going to
no, he's just gonna
perpetual?
repeat. Okay. All right.
Wow.
You
Crazy
know what?
game.
We take those. So
Yeah, I mean, down a whole piece. Bach just never gave up and he continued
yeah,
fighting back. Where did Josiah go wrong? He brought his king in,
how did this happen?
he gives up the H pawn, and then he sacrifices the bishop, but not really a sacrifice. Oh, respectful. Thanks for the 5 gifted. Appreciate that. Um, okay, so takes, and he takes, they trade, but after the rook check, F takes, white's doing better. It's incredible.
I mean, but I feel like already by this point, like white gave black too many chances. Um, so yeah, I don't know exactly. Maybe he just needed to keep the king pushed back.
Oh, I have you in for board 4 on the on the sheet.
Oh.
Whoops. One of the viewers pointing that out. All right, thank you.
Mm.
But yeah, the season is coming to an end. So you said Stavrula is graduating. Do you know how much of the SLU team will be back next season?
I think besides her, all of us will be back next season. Hopefully we have some new players as well. Uh, but yeah, hopefully we can end this season as champions and then come back even stronger next year.
Yeah, that'd be incredible. So we'll see. You guys still have to get through Mizzou. Josiah was very close to keeping it tied at 2-2. So you have a 1 point lead
Yeah.
going into the second round, which
Yeah,
is nice to have.
I feel like that half a point is going to be meaningful later on because I mean it could have just been a full point for Mizzou for sure. So maybe that would have been useful to have already.
Good
We'll see.
point. I mean, you guys have some really close matches. I know Mizzou actually, I believe, beat UT Dallas by a point to make it to the finals. So every point counts for sure.
Right. No, and I remember that I think our last match against UTRGV, um, they played super strong, and in the first two rounds, I think we tied. We had 4-4,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. But after that, I don't know, something happened in the SLU team, and they just woke up, and I think they won the last round even 4-0, which was incredible. Like I definitely did not see that coming. So yeah, I feel like our team can really shine in the last two rounds.
So they're good under pressure.
Yeah.
People are saying you're very strong as board four and commentator at the same time.
Well, I mean, what can I say?
No, that was my mistake. But yes, the Rula, she couldn't hold her position against Oparin, so Oparin has the only win for Mizzou so far. But as a board one, you start off against board four and then board three, and so each
Mhm.
round it gets harder and harder. I think do any of these players really expect to like sweep the competition, go 4-0? Because I know Oparin is like a favorite, and Theodoru obviously over 3,100 now. What kind of expectations do these players have?
So first of all, I want to give a big shout out to Aparin because he's not only like very strong player online, but also classical and like I think we all remember his performance in the Grand Prix, I think 2 years ago. And believe he also scored 2.5 out of 3 in the final four. So very strong player. Um, Also shout out to Nico because once again, very strong player in general, and like bullet and blitz is very strong. And like I said last week, he won 4-0. So that was incredible. I'm really excited to see the final round when they get to play against each other. But I do believe that the two of them will be the highest scoring players of the teams.
Yeah, it makes sense. They're the top boards, and Mizzou and SLU both did play in the final four. And I believe you guys beat them. Was it 2.5 to 1.5?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, that bodes well for you here. Was Theodoria your board one?
No, I think it was Benjamin who was on board one and Nico
Okay.
was on board two. So,
And that's based off
yeah.
of, is it FIDE rating?
Yeah. hmm
Okay. Yeah, so a little bit different online, of course.
Yeah, I
Um,
think Benjamin is like 2612, something like that. And Nico is about 2590. So, mhm.
okay, very close. Yeah, and practically interchangeable.
Right.
To be honest, especially in this online format, it's an all play all, so everyone plays everyone at the end. Um, so yeah, I'm just watching Theodora's game against Josiah. So Josiah had a great game against Bach. Unfortunately, couldn't hold it.
hmm
And now I was wondering if he could take on c4. He decided not to, or maybe he wants to take with a knight. He's not really in a rush because it's hard to defend.
It looks like it. Yeah, because he could have definitely taken. Uh, One thing is that I guess he wants to keep some pressure with the knight on e5 because after going bishop to b7, I mean, I assume this is like the best move that black has in the position. After bishop to b7, there might always be tricks with knight to d7.
Mm.
So, okay, he actually, yeah, he goes back to e3. He still needs to defend the knight, so that's why he can't take on c4. But now the knight d7 ideas might be coming in.
Yeah, how do you stop knight d7?
Actually, there's knight d7, but black has queen g6.
Yeah, queen
Certainly mate on
g6,
g2.
exactly. So nice little tactic to get
Mhm.
out of the fork.
Right.
Knight
So I feel
d7
like,
still might be good though. Oh, he just takes the pawn.
oh, okay. I mean, that's fine, I think.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like in general, these positions, I don't know why. I would think that the knight would be better than the bishop, even though the bishop has such a long diagonal, because I guess it's just because there's only one diagonal. Uh, but I don't know. I would say it feels a little bit more comfortable to play as white. But now that I think about it, I don't know. Maybe the king is a little bit weak.
They're very
Should
close.
be fine.
Yeah.
Should be fine.
Yeah, Theodoru, he had to save the checkmate threat on g2 by pushing f3, which a lot of times is frowned upon. So you mentioned the king might not be as safe. Okay, probably rook c1 here, right? Or
Yeah.
rook d2. Oh, rook d4.
Oh wow, rook d4. Okay, I think rook d4. He wants to put the rook on g4, maybe, and protect that way.
Oh, g4. That's active.
But yeah, it's a little scary though.
Yeah, and Josiah has to watch out. Like he can give a check on b1, king goes to h2, but I think White's threatening to play c4 at some point and try to take advantage of the back rank.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's check on Stavrula. She's playing now against Antipov. And Antipov lost in the first round, so he's going to try to bounce back here against Stavrula. He has the white pieces. Looks like his king is pretty safe, and Stavrula's pushed f6.
His position definitely looks more comfortable just because of the control that he's gonna have on the d file. The bishop on c8 is not very good, and like the bishop on c8, pawn on c6 weakness gives a beautiful outpost on c5 for the knight. The bishop can come to c4. Yeah, it just looks very pleasant for white.
Yeah, and Stavrula's actually feeling some time pressure now. She's under a minute.
Okay, bishop e6, but I feel like here there should be some trades and the pawn on c6 hanging.
Okay, so like take on. Ooh, she's Antipov's doubling on the d file.
Actually, this might be a really smart idea because he's putting Stavrula under even more pressure. And like we said, she's very low on time. He's not deciding anything in the position, he's just incrementing pressure. So practically, that's probably the best choice that he had.
Would you trade rooks if you were Antipov, or would you take back the bishop first?
Probably I would take the bishop. But you can also, I guess you could also like trade all of the rooks and play queen takes c5. And then the queen is always tied up to defending queen f8. Oh, okay.
Takes with the queen first.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I thought he would take with the bishop.
Exactly. I thought so too, because bishop taking comes with tempo against Stavrula's queen. And Stavrula actually doesn't trade queens. Is that interesting? Because I figure when you're in time pressure, you try to trade down.
Yeah, I would have thought a queen of trade of queens was coming, but
and now
it's really hard to defend.
Is attacking a lot of things.
Oh, bishop c4 now, queen c4, queen f7.
So bishop check, king in the corner.
I feel like queen c4, queen f7 may have done more damage, but it still looks very dominant for white. Probably rook d2 with the idea of queen e7.
She's defending well in time pressure. She only has 5 seconds.
Yeah, for sure. Wait, do you see the first line of the engine in this position?
No, I'm looking at bishop c1.
Okay, it's impossible. I don't think it's possible to see that move.
I guess just to try to put pressure on the knight.
Yeah,
it's tricky.
Don't believe in it. If he does it, okay, he's a genius. But like sometimes I just don't understand the way grandmasters think. But then everything somehow makes sense.
Yeah, I guess like rook d6 is a bit more natural. Okay. But okay,
yeah,
now she trades. Rook takes is a fork.
But the knight is coming to d4.
Knight d4, true. But then bishop b2 or
maybe
c5.
Then.
Okay.
Now she's trying to open up the A file.
But now he can
But he
start winning
can,
some pawns. He
yeah,
keeps
he
it
could have
close,
taken. Huh.
but now he can take.
Savvy making moves with 0.8 on the clock.
Yeah,
That's
less than a
scary me.
second. We had a result. Wow, Josiah beats Theodoru. A huge
Oh my
result.
goodness.
And
Wow.
let's look at Bach versus Raja. He's at 2 seconds, is Raja. There's Queen takes
Oh
f7.
gosh.
Bach should be winning this.
Um, yeah, but how?
But how? Queen f6, King g8, and then it wants Rook g2.
Rook G2 looks nice. I was thinking maybe knight D7, but
Also logical.
that looks a little bit scary.
Rook g2 first.
Okay, nice.
Rook takes. Or would you play King h1? Ooh, King
I'll
h1.
play King H1 just to be safe.
But now, okay, Rook
Oh,
here.
but now you can check. Now you can check Queen E6. Like Queen F6, Queen E6. Oh no.
Oh, just takes here. And
Hmm.
Raja flags.
Okay,
Okay.
fair enough.
And now back to, well, we have Oparin versus Robbie actually is a big one. This position is a bit more
Okay,
even. It's opposite colored bishops.
right.
Um, but
However, I mean, this endgame doesn't have much going on, but
yeah,
it's
let's,
important to notice that a lot of time people underestimate opposite color bishop endgames with more pieces on the board. Like they can get very tricky. Like, yeah, Robbie
Robbie
just
just
won a
grabbed the
pawn.
pawn. Yeah.
So yeah, it just happens sometimes.
Let's check back with
Um,
Stavrula.
right.
Oh, it's not looking good.
Oh no. Okay.
She loses on time. So tougher start for her compared to
Yeah.
last time.
Hopefully she finds her footing soon.
Robbie and Oparin drew.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if I have all the points on. Did I give a point to
So
Bach yet?
this
Not
would
yet.
be 2.5 to 1.5, or is it?
It's 4-4 now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Mizzou has tied it up. And last
Yeah.
time SLU had it tied at 4-4. They went 7.5 out of 8. So you think that SLU is a second half team?
Yeah, for sure.
You think they'll beat Mizzou 7.5 out of 8 in this last 2 rounds?
Okay, I don't know if 7.5. That was an incredible score that they had, but hopefully, yeah, they do create some gap going into the last round.
All right, well, it's all tied up here. Let's put a prediction in the chat and see
Ooh.
how the viewers will vote.
Oh, so it started round 3 already.
Yep, this is the round 3. So we're going into the second half.
Mm.
Okay, I'm watching Bach versus Oparin.
Okay. Let me hop onto it. Okay, so how did this start? This started with okay, like a Queen's Gambit decline type of thing. Like starting off as an IMSO.
The Nimzo.
I feel like there are just so many transpositions in these lines. Um, and certainly it's a good weapon for black. It's very solid.
Yeah, Oparin, I mean, neither of these players really have used much time here. How much opening prep do you think goes into these online chess matches?
I don't have necessarily like opening prep, like for the specific players, because sometimes it's hard to predict um who they're gonna have on the team. But for sure, players will be brushing up on any lines that they feel like they have troubles in, or they're going to be preparing some sort of blitz only variations where it's very tricky, even though if computer gives a decisive advantage for either side. So yeah. Um, I
And
think we'll. I don't know why. I have like a vague memory that this opening in the Bach Grigori game happened recently. Maybe it was like Wesley and Hikaru in the American Cup, but I don't
hmm.
know. So
Well, you
yeah,
said Bach was your board one in the final four, right?
right.
And I'm assuming Oparn was there, so they played. And do you remember that match?
I don't actually remember it that well. I think they made a draw. Yeah, I think they just made a draw.
Well, I definitely
Uh,
feel like Oparin.
mm,
It's interesting. Oparin has an open G file for his king, but Bach can't
right.
castle. So
Yeah. However, I feel like the main thing of these positions is white is able to utilize the fact that they have an advantage in development, even though the king is only one. Yes, white does have an advantage in development because of the knight on b8. So uh, it just kind of depends if they can do something with it.
yeah,
Okay, so
Queen
queen
E4 hitting the
e4,
rook. That knight that you mentioned finally gets out, and now King E2
king
completing
e2,
development. Right,
right?
a delayed Bond
I,
cloud.
yeah, I guess we can call it that. I presume that the idea is to play rook c1 next.
That makes
Um,
sense.
yeah, I guess like rook c1, maybe bring the other rook to d1, something like that. But
Instead of
if rook c1 now, there's knight d4, I think, so you can't do that.
So what if instead of king e2, what if just b4 trying to play for b5? Would that have worked? Or I guess the rook controls b5.
Yeah, but the rook probably has to move like b4, but b4 rook c3, there's b5, like you wanted to, I think. So maybe he's forced to play b4 f5, kick the queen away, and then move the
Ah,
rook.
okay. So we didn't see that line.
Yeah,
Yeah, rook
I assume
d2
that's it.
and okay, trading knights, rook takes with tempo on the queen. And Grigory just has so much more time, and we've seen Bach get
Mm-hmm.
into time pressure as well. But he's definitely very good in time pressure. Like he held that position
Yeah,
against Josiah. Um,
yeah, for sure.
Speaking of Josiah, he's up against Rula, and this is the battle between the two Iams. Um,
So let me go into that.
yeah, we saw
Hmm.
Stavrula lost her first two games, and she had that phenomenal 3 out of 4 score against UTRGV, and that was definitely a huge part of your team's victory.
Yeah,
So now she's in the last half of this match, and she's playing a very strong Josiah. Um,
but I like her position.
yes, she is black.
Yeah, I mean, only if the knight on e2 could get to c4 somehow, this might be a different story, but it's really far away. So I don't know. I feel like her position, she just has more space in the center. I feel like it would be harder to push the pawn mass on the king side as white. Um, so I don't know. I kind of like black in this position, especially because there might be some weaknesses on the dark squares once the bishop's trade. Uh, yeah,
Do you think, if
uh,
given the opportunity, Josiah is considering the sacrifice on h6?
it is certainly a possibility, but I feel like after bishop h6, uh, black, like I said, it's going to be very dominant of the dark square. So maybe like bishop h6, pawn takes, queen takes, knight h7, and then bishop is coming to f8. Something like that
Yeah.
might happen.
So the
But
king, she could patch up
mhm.
there. And yeah, leaving that dark square bishop on the board uncontested would be a very big commitment. So, um, yeah, Josiah maybe considering trading some pieces down here. I don't know how much of a. Oh my goodness, he's done
Oh,
it.
it went for it.
He done
Wow.
it. That's
Yeah.
that's that's
Mm.
probably not good for Josiah if he's playing my moves.
Think of
Wow.
it this way: you're playing like an IM. You're thinking like an IM. So,
Well, fun fact, before Josiah got an IM, back when he was an FM, I
hmm
played him in a rapid game uh, for the California chess
hmm
championship. This was like back in 2020 when it was hosted online.
Okay.
And I ended up beating him. It was a big upset. So
Wow.
that's like probably my best rapid win, I guess. But okay, looks like Stavrila's playing your move now, knight h7, and she
Mm.
might follow up with bishop f8.
And it looks like Josiah is just gonna throw all of his pawns and try to go for a checkmate. But I don't see how this is going to materialize. Because yeah, once the queen goes back, I am actually a little bit worried for Josiah as his king, actually. Yeah, rook e3 by Stavi, so I feel like that's a very strong move. Kind of tying up all of the white pieces because knight f4 is not possible because you trade rooks and the knight on f4 is hanging. Um, like it's just so hard to move the pieces around.
Yeah. And
Maybe g6 is like
yeah,
the one consideration that he can have.
g6. But after Stavrila takes, her queen also opens up on the seventh to help defend. But
Right.
there's also like knight f6, which further
Hmm.
kicks the queen away.
I feel like if f6 knight, sorry, if g6 knight f6 is the move that makes the most sense, just so that if g6 pawn takes, it doesn't open up the f file and some rook f7 ideas. So probably g6 knight f6, and maybe that's why Josiah went for rook f2.
Yeah, and Stavrila just doubles her rook, so now all of her pieces are in the
Mm-hmm.
action. Bach and Oparin had a quick draw. Um,
Ah, maybe just like in Final Four.
ah,
Oh, but I'm seeing that in Robbie's game against Russia, Russia only has 10 seconds, so maybe we should jump into that.
yeah, Robbie's crushing it on the clock. He's
And his
taking
position
and
looks nice too.
trying to trade queens is Raja.
Probably should keep the queens on the board. I assume he would do something like queen b7. Yeah, queen b7
Yeah,
for
keeping the
bishop
queens
a3.
on, definitely a good choice when you're pushing
Oh,
on the clock.
d3.
D3, a very aggressive move. Trying again here
Yeah,
to trade queens. Raja's feeling desperate.
I feel like he shouldn't. Yeah,
Pawn
takes.
takes, king
Maybe
takes,
queen
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 a6.
a6,
Yeah,
then queen
trying.
takes a2. Yeah.
Queen a6 looks devastating.
But the idea of queen a4 also. Yeah, queen a4 and queen a2. Yeah,
There it
Robbie
is, a6.
has plenty of time to see the move.
1 second for Raja. He defends the pawn. Is queen a3 an idea? Oh, you gotta
Oh,
watch
queen
out for
d2.
f7. Okay, where's
Okay,
the
but there's
mate?
queen b2.
Oh,
Uh,
just forces the queen trade here now, and Raja
oh,
flags.
very
Nice
nice.
finish. We haven't looked at
Yeah,
Theodoru versus Antipov.
maybe we should do that. Yeah.
So Robbie's at 2.5 out of 3. That gives SLU the lead by 1 point.
Yeah, Robbie is doing well.
Okay.
We were talking yesterday. Yesterday was his birthday, actually.
Oh wow.
So yeah, we were talking yesterday, like, how he needs to perform well today. And he's doing well. So yeah.
The birthday pressure, and he's performing. So happy birthday
Mhm.
to Robbie.
See, I told you we rise to the occasion.
Yes,
It's a team that works under pressure. So
very good. Okay, can Theodoru grab on f7, or is that like too slow?
I feel like that's kind of slow. I feel like he wants to keep the position as close as possible and focus on the queen side. Like he doesn't want to touch anything
So he
on
takes on the
the
c
on the king
file,
side.
and now does he
Maybe
double
rook b1.
rooks? Oh,
Okay.
rook here.
Queen f3 looks really nice too. Oh, but I didn't realize Antipov only has 3 seconds. Okay. Um, yeah, probably like
Pawn
rook
push.
b1.
He's bringing the a file. Bishop trades. 2 seconds.
It's also a piece up. I I didn't realize
His
that at
knight.
all.
He is up a knight.
Uh,
All right, how does he finish? Does he want to play a5? No. Okay, well, computer. Oh no,
Uh,
he lost his a pawn. Computer may have actually preferred that he give up the knight.
yeah, I don't think rook b6
Oh, it said
works.
knight e4 was the move. Knight e4. Hmm. Yeah, are there any like rook sacrifices on b6? Does that not work? Oh, he's
I
going
don't
for it.
think so. Oh, what did he
Oh,
see?
dude,
King
every time I
b8.
see a sacrifice that's unsound, they play it. Oh no. Now
uh,
it's Theodoru in time pressure. 2 seconds. 1 second.
maybe rook. Oh, okay.
Rook back. And now the queen's trying to defend. Doubling
Um,
here.
yeah, I don't know about this.
Wow. And how's
Rook
Stavrula
b7.
doing?
Hmm.
Ooh, Stavrula is winning. Well,
Oh,
yeah, Josiah did sacrifice the piece, so looks like
very
she's
nice.
defended very well.
Hopefully she wins and it doesn't happen the same thing as Josiah's last game. So that's the
Yes.
only thing I hope.
So it looks like Antipov won.
Okay, okay.
So the piece sacrifice did not work out for Robbie, so we jinxed him maybe on his birthday.
Yeah.
Or wait, no, that wasn't Robbie.
No, 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 no.
That
That
was
was Nico.
Bach. Yeah, or Theodoru. Yes,
Yeah,
sorry. All right.
it's okay. But I mean, it looks like sacrifices were not working this round, unfortunately.
Luckily, it was one player from both teams with the sacrifice.
Yeah, that's good.
Josiah, he's just shuffling his rook. So Stavrula's got to make a breakthrough, right?
Yeah, but the question is
How?
how?
So Josiah's just shuffling.
Oh my God, if she makes a three-fold repetition.
Okay, rook gets to the back rank. This looks really good
uh,
for her.
yeah, I think she's got it now.
She's got it. There goes a pawn
Always, always trust.
and resigns.
Mm, very
All
good.
right, so Stavrula actually giving the lead to SLU. They have a 6.5 to 5.5 lead.
Okay, very nice.
So there was a draw between Oparn and Bach, and Mizzou got a point from Antipov after Theodoru sacrifices a rook.
Hmm.
Robbie and Stavrula getting wins. So they're up by 1. They only need 2 points out of 4
Yeah.
in the last round to win the match. Mizzou needs 3 to win. And they could tie it still if they win back 2.5 to 1.5 and go to
Wouldn't
overtime.
that be exciting?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I want SLU to win. I'm very biased, but
Shocking.
wouldn't it be exciting to see a wouldn't it be exciting to see
Of course.
a playoff? So,
All right, so the season comes down to this last round.
okay, so Antipov against Benjamin is a London, kind of like today's World Championship game.
Yeah. Do you think the both players have seen that game?
Probably. I hope
Uh,
so.
I don't think this is following that though, is it?
No, 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 it's not.
It's a
It's
little
very
different.
different, but you know, maybe he got inspired.
Yeah,
Maybe he got inspired.
I didn't realize the London was not very successful. Apparently, this is the first time in a world championship that it was decisive, or a
It,
win for the. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, obviously, the player with the black pieces is also a top player. So, if they know what they're doing, the London should impose no challenge.
So Nepo
Uh,
doesn't know what he's doing, is what you're saying.
no,
That's-
that's not what I'm saying. But
okay.
I feel like Ding kind of mentioned that the London fits his style, and I can see it because he's very like principled and plays like correct chess. You know, doesn't it's not the most like creative or aggressive like Nepo is. Although he has a very famous 2017 game, like very strong game. I was randomly thinking about it today. I was like, oh, I should check it. Maybe I should have checked it before coming here, so I don't sound like an idiot. But um, but yeah, definitely London fits his style more. And yeah. So in this position now that we have on the board, it feels like Benjamin knew what he was doing, and he got a very pleasant uh, breakthrough in the center.
Yeah, looks like Bach is crashing through here. He's got three pawns in the center, two of them attacking this point of the pyramid, this London pyramid here, the
Maybe
Antell house.
Nepo should take notes.
Yeah, get Bach in the world championship,
Yeah,
or Bach could be
a
Nepo's
second.
second. Yeah,
Yeah,
show him
exactly.
this London theory. Um,
But
so
yeah, usually if Black gets this breakthrough, it's really great. I'm more familiar from like the Grunfeld structure, but if in the Grunfeld, like against the London, you would play with knight FD7 and breakthrough with E5. So it feels like Black is doing pretty good here just because of that pawn break in the center, the fact that White's king is still not castled. Well, I was wrong. He just
well,
castled.
castles
Um,
now, but now show us what's the point of getting these pawns here? Like, what does Bach want to do now?
Well, I feel like he could for sure trade off everything on d4 and the position would be fine. The decision of rook e8 is very practical. As we were saying, like usually we want to keep the center as, or I guess the position as flexible as possible to put some pressure on the opponent. But I feel like even e4 was a safe choice. Just e4, close up the center, and once the center is closed, you start attacking on the side of the king where the side of the board where the opponent's king is. So I feel like e4, and then the bishop would move, and then I don't know, some play on the queen side would have made sense. But this is for sure good.
Let's check in the top boards, Oparin and Robbie. And this is also
Mhm.
opposite side castles. Or sorry, not Robbie, Theodoru.
Nico, yeah.
Okay, so Theodoru's grabbing this A pawn. Or sorry, that's Oparin.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess this came from a Sicilian. Yeah.
okay.
Uh, Yeah, so I mean, if there were queens on the board, this would be very different. I would say that black is the one with advantage, but there are no queens on the board. And what I worry about sometimes as a Sicilian player myself is that sometimes when we get to endgames, we don't think about it, but white ends up having a majority on the queen side. Like, of course, they just took a pawn on a7, but white ends up having usually 3 versus 2 on the queen side, and that can be a little bit annoying. Um,
Can Theodoru grab on C2 right now?
I guess I could. Maybe rook c2. I don't know if Oparin wants knight d4. And rook
Uh,
takes g2, knight takes e6, and if you lose the bishop on g7, oh,
oh,
okay.
just
Rook
offering some
c1.
victory.
Okay, very classy move. Yeah, usually in endgames, you need to be a little bit worried if you have double pawns because it means that, I don't know, there's a pawn that should be in another file doing a better job. And in this case, it might be a problem. Um, Also, how does a knight on f6 get into the game?
Good question. Oparin has this pawn chain on the light squares, guarding a lot of
Hmm.
those squares. Maybe the knight will have to reroute from to d7.
Right, something like knight d7. But even then, where does the knight go from d7? I feel like it's not so clear.
Do you want to check in on Stavrula?
Yeah, let's see how she's doing.
Yeah, she looks to be up on time significantly of about 2 minutes against Raja. Raja's the only player that hasn't gotten any points, so he's at 0 right now. This is his last opportunity to get on the board against Stavrula.
He's very strong though, I must say. Like very tricky, especially when you're in the final seconds. Uh, but I kind of like Stavi's position here, just because there is some potential around the Black King.
Yeah, we have a lot of opposite side castles games.
I feel like if she wanted to, she could even play g6 in this position, and I don't think she loses that.
I think
But maybe there are better options.
I think every
Like,
game in
mhm.
this round is opposite side castles. So
Oh, really?
very aggressive chess.
Oh
Very
yeah,
impressive.
because even Robbie is Robbie and Josiah are playing opposite side castle. Very nice.
And looks like Robbie's doing well against Josiah.
Right. And if I'm not mistaken, the two of them, I do know that they're good friends, but they also played in New York a few weeks ago
Oh,
uh,
what was
for
there?
an invitational. They host a lot of non-invitational events, and I believe they played there.
I think
But here there, since the games are more casual, I think they're going to bring the best out of each other.
it looks to me
Um,
like Robbie's trying
mm,
to corral this rook on e5. I think he's trying to trap it
yeah, for
with
sure.
f4.
Even in this position, f4 is a possibility. The thing is that black doesn't have that many other pieces that could attack the white king. So,
Whoa.
okay,
Oh,
okay.
queen d7,
Oh,
huge blunder
yeah.
from
Queen takes
Josiah.
c5.
Wow.
Roby, Roby spotted it right away.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think he can find.
resigns.
Yeah, there's no compensation on this one. Um, yeah, unlucky.
So Robbie
Yeah.
strikes first. That brings SLU within 1 point of winning. There's 3 games left.
Hmm. That was very, very important point. Yeah.
Yeah, Robbie, the birthday boy, ends 3.5 out of 4. So
Yeah.
very strong match for Robbie.
Hmm.
Um,
They say that with the years comes the wisdom.
ah,
Maybe, maybe this was it. Um, all right. But
I'm
what
trying to
else
figure
can we
out
take
which
a
game to look at.
look at?
Looks like Oparin's game is the most favored.
Hmm. And he's doing well against Nico. Um, yeah, in general, it's just very uncomfortable to play 2 versus 1 positions, just because your opponent can always make a pass pawn. And like I was saying earlier, it's hard for Nico to make a pass pawn because his pawns are doubled. So there's no counterplay for him.
Yeah. Theodore's pawns are very sad, unfortunately.
Okay, so he's trying to use the pin to buy time for his king to get into the game. But white just has 2 pass pawns on the queen side, yeah, and he's pushing them
Yeah,
right
there goes
away.
a4. And
Hmm.
he doesn't care about the g pawn.
Yeah, because it's just so fast for white, and black would need to take both of the pawns, start pushing the G pawn. Um, it's yeah,
A6. So now he's out of the pen. Does he trade bishops off?
yeah. He
Yes.
can
And
trade
now rook
bishops off
c6.
or rook a4. I think both of them are fine. I just have a bias towards putting the rook behind the pawn. But the main thing is that the king can join in so quickly. Play king b4, king b5, king b6, and it's like, what do you do then? So
Yeah, rook a4 definitely the top engine move. So the difference between you and me, because I was thinking
nah.
rook c6, we attack the d pawn and the e pawn. Oh,
Oh, hey.
no, I've been jinxing every player. Every time I suggest a move, it's been bad. So
No, no, no. Once again, you can say that like 2660 GM is thinking like you. So
no,
you're
but
fine.
you're saying the top engine move. Rook a4 is better, and I agree because my idea is to move the king and try to get the b pawn running. But okay, the king comes in,
Okay,
and
but
this
this
is
is
still
getting
good.
messy.
But
This is
okay,
getting a
black,
little
yeah,
bit messy
black is
though.
running the g pawn,
Yeah.
so it's a race. So yeah, okay, rook back,
Okay. King b7,
king
rook
b7,
g8.
clearly.
And you don't have time to play rook c8, I don't think.
Whoa, pawn push,
Oh!
and the computer says it's a draw.
Oh wait!
Rook
Black is
takes
winning!
a7. Rook a7 wins, but does
Oh my
Theodore
god, this is okay. I mean,
does
like
he know?
well, I don't think he has any other move.
Yeah,
Well,
if you
he could play
just
Rook G8. No, Rook G8. I think it just looks so scary. But okay, Rook A7, King A7, G2, Rook C1.
push the pawn, what?
No!
Oh! King takes a8 was winning for a part. He put the
Oh
rook on
wait. No,
c1.
wait.
Oh, and now it's winning again for white. Oh my goodness, what are we watching?
Oh no. Okay.
It's an absolute coin flip. Antipov loses to Box, so that actually clinches the match for SLU.
Oh, perfect. Very
So
nice.
the drama on Oparin's board didn't even matter. But very
Have
nicely
it.
played from Bach.
Okay.
Congratulations to SLU. They win the
Thank you.
championship.
Good job, team.
$5,000. And okay, Stavrula looks like she's
Very
also
proud of.
winning.
Okay.
She's got a
Yeah.
queen, so that's pretty cool.
But
Um,
it's kind of hard to judge how to win this. Oh, okay.
uh-oh. Didn't like that one. Queen, trade, queen.
Okay,
It's
but
a
I
draw.
mean, it is what it is. Yeah, just
It
clinches the
didn't
match.
doesn't matter. So that's a draw, and now this Oparin and Theodoru game. They're gonna have to analyze this one together.
Yeah, do you mind if we go back to that position where it was winning for black? Because I still don't understand how it's winning.
Yeah, we can go through it. Let's see. Where was it better for black?
It was after
After King B7, Rook
yeah,
takes
after King
A7.
B7. Yeah, Rook A7, King A7, G2, Rook C1. Oh, I guess you okay, this is interesting. So I guess you just push the H pawn, get the king out of the way, play H2, and G1 comes with check. Is that why?
So it's saying G2, Rook C1, King G3. And then
Yeah.
I guess yeah, the H pawn comes.
Yeah, because you're going to promote with check on G1.
All right, well, Oparin
That's insane.
wins.
That's
Oparin
crazy.
he
Yeah.
is 3 out of 4. Final score
Yeah.
though, it's 9-7. So Mizzou goes down. SLU wins the championship for the first time since the inaugural season. And Mizzou in the finals is 0-2 against SLU. So congratulations to SLU for a fantastic conclusion to the season and winning first place and $5,000. So congratulations. Talia, do you have anything to say to the SLU fans or to your teammates?
Well, I'm very proud of my team. They did amazing. Very proud. Well, I gotta say, like, very proud of my girl Sarula because she's just my roommate. But yeah, very proud of the team. I'm sure they're very happy right now, and can't wait to hop on the group chat to congratulate them.
Yeah, I will let you go celebrate with the team. And congrats again to all the SLU members, and especially Stavrula, like you said, who's graduating on top as a champion. So congrats to all of you. We will take a quick break, but I will be back to cover another finals match in a lower division. So we have Division 5 finals between Ohio State and Duke's C team. But I'm going to let you go, Talia. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll let you go celebrate. So congrats again. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me here today. Have a good rest of the stream.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We've got the Division 5 finals here between Ohio State and Duke University's C team. My name is Joe, and I'm joined by a very special guest, Naga, who has been here before on our College Ambassador podcast, but now he's back as a commentator for the Duke team. Naga, tell us a little bit about this Duke C team.
Yeah, so I'm actually one of the members of the team as well, but we decided for strategic reasons to play someone else today. So yeah, the team has been pretty good this season. We've played against the Afro Dragons, who are from Ohio State, during the regular season, and it was kind of one-sided, I'd say. I think we lost 10-6. It wasn't a great match, but we're hoping that we've prepared well today.
Okay, so let's dive right in to see the games. You said they beat you 10-6, so what's the strategy? Were you playing in that match?
No, I wasn't playing in that match either.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking they'd put you back in to see if that was the missing ingredient.
Well, I mean, it was that. That's why I was late getting back to you because we had decided about an hour ago. So
Okay. Last minute lineup. So it looks like Good Giggly Wiggly is actually crushing Ahmed right now. Do you see that game?
that is good. That is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness, we had a raid from Bach. Wait, no, Bach. We got a raid from St. Louis Chess Club, a raid of 69. Very nice. So shout out to St. Louis. Bach was in the chat. For those of you that don't know, we just saw SLU take down Mizzou 9-7 in the Division 1 finals. So SLU is the official champions of the 2023 spring season. They just won $5,000. Now we are watching Division 5, which is Ohio State versus Duke C. Do you know how much prize money is on the line for this match, Naga?
is it 850 maybe?
Oh, it looks like it's just $800, but
800.
still a significant amount of money. I know that you guys have won some prizes in the past. What do you guys typically use that prize funding for?
Yeah, I mean, it all goes inside like one big pool of money, so there isn't like a one-to-one correspondence between what the CCL winnings go to, but generally, I mean, they're used to help fund Pan Am trips and things like that. So
Cool. Yeah, and I know you guys competed in Pan Am's recently, and I expect you guys will probably be back competing again.
yeah,
How'd you guys do?
Pan Am's.
Yeah.
Um, well, it was our first time after quite a large absence, so no one had any really substantial Pan Am experience except one graduate student who was on our A team. But the A team did not so great, but also we don't have any players, any titled players, so we didn't expect to do that well. But I think we're getting much stronger next year, so hopefully we'll do better. I think the under 1800 team did decent. I was on that team, but I don't remember what we finished. Maybe like 7th or something.
And how are the rest of your teams doing in the CCL?
This has definitely been the worst year of CCL for us. All the other Duke teams have been eliminated.
Oh, no.
So
So this is your last hope, Duke C.
yeah.
All right.
I think the A team was very disappointing because they finished 7th in the regular season. So
Rough. Well, your C team here is showing how it's done. They're in the finals against a very strong Ohio State team. And actually, Ahmed is putting up quite the defenses here after we saw a crushing position from Good Giggly Wiggly. Rook takes F2, and the defensive resourcefulness from Ahmed. He gives Bishop H7 check, Queen H7 check, so you can take back on F2 with the Rook, but it's still completely crushing for Black. However, it looks like he mistakenly took on F2 when the computer was recommending the move Queen to D7, trying to add more attackers. So he gives up this awesome bishop pair that he has. He gives up the bishop a little early, and now it looks like Ahmed is trying to defend, although it hates this last move, Queen to H2. So do you think? Let's see, what What is Good Giggly Wiggly's real name? Should I keep calling him that, or should I call him Will?
His real name is Will.
Okay, well, Queen E3, he's played it, and he's threatening Queen E1. He's threatening. What else is he threatening? Queen E4?
I think.
I don't know. Actually, probably not.
Yeah, I'm not entirely. I don't think he even sees the idea. That move just looks logical.
It's
Keep the
just
pin intact.
very deadly.
Um,
Well, Queen
Yeah,
E1 is a
I mean,
huge threat. I guess Queen E1's the
think
main thing.
the biggest thing that we talked about before the match was time management. And we've struggled with that all season. So I'm really happy to see that he's not in time pressure because I think he has enough time to figure this out. I think Queen D3 is very logical here, so I hope he plays that. I mean, Queen D3 followed by Queen D1 looks very, very logical.
Yeah, that's a nice solid 1-2 punch there. Let's check in on some of the other boards. Looks like Andrews is low on time against Richard. And I believe Richard is... It looks like both Ohio State and Duke C have a Richard at their top board. Is
Yep.
Richard just a strong chess name, perhaps?
I guess. I mean, we have Rapport, so
True.
yeah.
So how close is Richard Karp to Richard Rapport or Richard Sandvoss as well? I guess
I think they're a ways away.
they're both
but,
over 2,000. I mean, all three of them, yeah. Or how good is Richard Sandvoss? Rook G8 check is his username. Oh, he's only
Yeah,
1944.
I'd say he's much stronger at classical than blitz, but
Okay.
yeah.
So Richard Sandvoss here with the black pieces looks like he's kind of in a pickle here. Let's see. He's got a bishop hanging. He's got a rook hanging. He can trade rooks, luckily. Whoa, he sacks the exchange? Rook takes b1 is quite the move.
Well,
Whoa, and
Spurs didn't play it, so-
Luxor doesn't take back. Oh my goodness. Okay, he can take on f7 with check. What a fun way to trade down
Yeah,
here.
I mean, after Queen takes a2, I think I'd back Richard to do something in this position.
Well,
hopefully.
it's even material, but his king is very exposed. He gives up the b pawn with check, so the material is no longer even.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are still very good drawing chances here.
But he's up on
Probably like-
time. He could flag Luxor maybe.
Yeah, a5 was very logical, stopping b4, and I mean, I think, just move the king back and forth. Don't allow any queen trades, and I mean, eval just keeps dropping because I think just like a4, as long as a4 doesn't blunder the pawn, that would have been enough probably.
Whoa,
Is
cool.
that-
He's going after the f pawn, but white can take on a5 now. Oh, he could
well,
trade
he did.
queens and double isolate the f pawns. Every game is in a scramble. We're being asked to check on Kevin's game. Kevin's at 11 seconds, but he's winning.
Okay, well that's good.
How to close
Yeah,
this
this
one
is,
out?
this is very common with Kevin. He's almost always in time pressure, but he's a very good bullet player. So
Well, his opponent's also in time pressure. Not as much. He's under 5 seconds. Kevin's got to move. He makes a move.
yeah,
in
I'm
2
not
seconds.
too worried about his time pressure. He never flags, although it's always distressing.
Will finally beat Ahmed. So he
Great.
he didn't play queen d3 check, but he brought his bishop into f3 and then queen d3 check, followed by queen d1, rook block, queen check, queen takes, king in the corner, and rook mate. So nice finish by Will. Let's check
I think
on.
Kevin is gonna finish this one.
Okay, Kevin's got 1 second. Oh my goodness, he said he never flags, but that was pretty close.
Well, he has a lot of close calls. Okay, I think he's kind of spoiled the position,
He's
but
losing his a pawn.
let's see.
How
Don't
does-
flag, Kevin.
1 second.
Okay, he shouldn't lose this though, because this should be okay.
Shouldn't lose. Okay, Andrews beats Richards, so that's actually a huge win for Duke. They're board 4, taking down their top board.
Kevin's got, well, I like his approach, although he's objectively losing.
Oh, Kevin, what happened to your pawn?
I mean, I think, oh man, that's just bishop dominating the knight.
Whoa, he's gambiting a pawn. Oh my goodness, the computer hated that move.
Oh,
And
here we
now,
go.
and now it's back to a draw. What the heck happened?
This is. I mean, this is
So
fine.
black
This is-
messed up big time when, well,
Yeah.
they should have just taken that H pawn.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, time pressure.
And also, they should not have taken back the G pawn. They should have apparently pushed. Apparently, H6 wins, but H5 doesn't. So weird. Oh my god, he almost just flagged his opponent.
Yeah, I mean, I think okay, this should just be
Should
it.
be a draw, as clear as day, but black's holding onto their pawn, but so is white. Oh, but white's giving up their pawn, but now knight a3. Easy draw.
There we go.
All right. Okay, so we did have rook g8 check wins. So that's 3-0. And with Kevin's draw, it's actually 3.5 to a half. So a fantastic start for this Duke team against Ohio State.
Looks like the prep did something.
All right. Well, how do you guys feel? You guys lost apparently to Ohio State earlier. Are you trying to get revenge here? How much prep work actually went into this match?
Quite a bit. more than our usual matches, I'd say. I think we targeted specific openings, and mostly again, it's just time management, which I thought was going better until I saw some of the later games. But I think that's the biggest thing. A lot of our players are very underrated. It's just time management.
Okay. Well, you did say that you had a A and a B team that were eliminated early. Like, how much of the A and B team actually helped the C team?
Not really anything. The CCL teams don't really intermingle. Well, I mean, okay, they intermingle in other ways, but I mean, in terms of CCL prep, we don't really talk with other teams. Yeah, we'd love to pull some players from our A and B team, but obviously that's not allowed.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting. You say there's not a lot of intermingling, but obviously, like, you guys have your chess club where you're not like separated by teams or anything. So I was wondering if sometimes in this prep work you have higher rated players from higher teams try to help out a little bit here and there.
Yeah, I'm sure that happens for over the board tournaments. I'm just not sure if that happens for CCL. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, there are a bunch of guys who are friends, and I'm sure they talk about stuff. But specifically for this match and this opponent, I don't think we did anything like that. We just talked amongst ourselves and did some engine work.
All right, it makes sense. So let's see. You guys are up by 3 points, a comfortable lead, but it's only one round. So you guys have 3 rounds remaining. Plenty of chess left for Ohio State to get back in it. What do you think the main difference is between now and when you guys played last?
I think just in general, our club is pretty experienced in playoffs, so and you don't have to take the regular season that seriously. But in the playoffs, I think we've been preparing well for most matches. And I think like really it's us and Ohio State. We're like clearly the 2 best teams in the division by quite a bit. But we don't always show it. So we won a lot of matches 9-7 or 8.5, 7.5 in the regular season. But I think if those were playoff matches, the gap would be much wider.
Wow, so that actually makes a bit of sense. In fact, we did see Mizzou beat SLU in the regular season this year, but SLU perhaps giving a little bit more effort into the playoffs where it matters. So yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Is there a particular game that you wanted to look at? I don't think we watched Andy's game a lot in that first round, and he actually had a big upset win against Richards. So do you think Andy's kind of like an underdog?
Yeah, well, actually, it was either going to be me or him who played. So we were talking before the match, and we played some practice games, and I won't say what happened, but we just decided that it'd be an interesting look to have him play. I think he played the last match as well, but he didn't have a very good performance, which is why we we actually thought about changing it up, but he convinced me that his prep would be deadly. So we'll see.
So he warmed up against you earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I won't say he did very well. I think
Oh.
those weren't very good matches from him, but I think he did enough preparation for these games. I think the lines that they played against him are quite different than the ones he'll see here. But
I thought you were like saying that because he beat you, he convinced you to play instead of you. So
no, no, no. I mean, I think he would love for me to say that, but that's not what happened.
wow. Well, yeah, that's an interesting decision then to put him in over you
Yeah, yeah.
if you were playing better. But it looks like so far it's worked. He took down Richard, and now he's taking on Victor, who had the only point or the half point for Ohio State in the first round. So another tough opponent for Andy here, but looks like Andy's
Yeah,
position is pretty decent.
one of the things is when you're trying to like figure out comparative strength, if you're playing against people that you know very well, it's like kind of skewed, right? So I've played a lot of the people on the team like hundreds of times. So that's not really the same as a one-off game against someone who doesn't play you all the time. So there's the familiarity factor that goes into the results when we play each other.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so this computer does not like this last move G3, and that really just kind of opens up the eyes of this light square bishop of Andy's on the long diagonal.
Yeah, I mean, in the future, there could just be some ideas like B6 and Queen B7, maybe. But
Ooh, I like this too. Knight's eyeing the F3 square. But okay, Knight D4. This guards F3, and this also attacks that strong bishop.
I think Knight takes C4 though, and then Bishop takes D4 would be very good.
Oh, okay. And we see just that. Knight takes on C4, Queen takes, and now Bishop takes on D4. That does give up your dark square bishop on the long diagonal. So looks like we have opposite color bishops in game here, and both sides have the bishop.
That hole on G2 is very important. I think that, I mean, if White can somehow navigate the middle game and get the queens off, then they have great drawing chances. But well, with the queens on, I think opposite color bishops gives you great potential for a win.
Okay, so we do see queen takes, and I'm wondering if black is going to play a move like E5, try to get this queen off the diagonal before the bishop gets to C3. Do you think Andy's going to think the same?
I'm not sure, because I wasn't looking at really at E5. I was looking, okay, well, I was looking more at rook development. I think rook D8, I don't know which rook, but probably rook F D8 looked pretty good.
Yeah, the thing is that the queen might have gotten into F6. That could have been annoying. But, okay, we do see...
But then the bishop hangs on D2.
Oh, true. So rook there made sense. You're right. Okay, maybe we check on...
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's look at Richard versus Kevin. So
which Richard?
Well, the one that's playing Kevin.
Yes.
We got two Richards, but only one Kevin. Kevin or Det from your team. And he's the board 3. He's the only player that had a draw. But it was a good draw because it was board 3 versus board 2. Now he's playing the top board, Richard. And we have some Kevin or Det fans in the chat, actually.
Yeah, I think his position is interesting. He needs to find a way to get that bishop on b7 into the game. And also find some activity for the knight on e7. I think... I mean... I don't know. I mean, the half-open f-file is nice, but I wouldn't say black is doing too well, but I mean, he's also not worse, so that's good.
Yeah, he's down a little bit of time. Computer actually likes his position, which is cool. This is definitely going to be Kevin's toughest opponent, the highest rated player in this whole match. Richard is over 2,000 rated. Kevin, I think, is the lowest rated player actually at 1700. But actually, no, he's not. Wait, is he? Oh, he is. Yeah, although he's listed as board 3, but perhaps interchangeable.
C5 is an interesting move here. I mean, I understand the point. You don't want to take on c5 because then the dark squared bishop gets active. So maybe you have to play d5 yourself. I mean, it kills your own bishop, but maybe the idea is after d5 you play something like bishop c8 and e5, and that's how you get your own bishop out. But that's not what he's gone for.
Shout out to Michelle in chat asking if this is live. Yes. Hello. This is the Division 5 finals between Ohio State and Duke University's C team. We just finished watching the D1 finals where SLU took down Mizzou for $5,000. And this match has $800 on the line. And both teams are already guaranteed, I believe it's $550. So it's an additional, was that $250? Quick math. Am I right? Nago, what's your major?
Math and statistics.
Math and statistics. So you would know, right?
Well, you would think.
I assume you'd be okay. Well, I'll
I mean, I
stick to
probably
my
would
answer.
know. What did you ask?
It doesn't matter. I'm just doing some math between second place prize and first place prize. The difference between 800 and 550 is 250. So, yeah, you guys are already guaranteed 550, and you said that prize fund typically goes towards Pan Ams, among other things.
Yeah, I think actually most directly the money might go towards some new merch for next year.
New merch so like Duke University specific merch.
Yeah, for the club. So I think one thing that people have been really wanting. By the way, Kevin's position now is extraordinarily good for some reason.
It wants to double up on the F file.
Yeah,
probably
and I guess maybe,
sack on
Bishop
F2,
H4.
and then Bishop H3, or H4 is another idea.
Could even sack on E3 maybe if the C1 rook leaves. Oh wait, no. There's
the bishop and knight, yeah, guard. Kevin's not moving though. Okay, he's played the best move in time pressure. Andy's also in severe time pressure if you want to check out his game. Looks like he's getting crushed. He's down a bishop. Oh, and this move it did not like. Or maybe the computer just had a blip. All right. So yeah, he's just down a lot. He's down on time. He's down in position. Looking tough for Andy there.
He's got a pass pawn. I don't know.
He does have the connected passer. Is it going to be good enough?
I think the bishop is too well placed, but I mean, if the bishop leaves, then I'd love to see a move like bishop b4 and then rook c2.
Oh,
but
I'm being demanded to go back to Kevin's game. There's too many fans in the chat. So he's played this incredible rook f3, as Levy would say, sacrificing the rook. But the pawn can't take.
It's not a
misclick.
misclick. It's actually good.
The knight can't take because then pawn take is devastating. Pawn
yeah,
take
and he's sort of equalized on time.
Attacking the queen. If queen takes, rook takes. So, okay, what's the threat? Is the threat to take on h3?
Yeah, I think so.
And then what?
Well, and then you just enjoy the extra pawn, probably.
Okay, pawn push. Are we gonna sack here? Bishop takes.
Yeah, I think take on g3. You have to take on g3. Right?
Bishop takes.
Yeah.
If pawn takes, rook takes.
Yeah.
And then what?
And then take on h3.
King h2.
King h2.
Would you still take on h3? I don't think so.
Probably not. Nah.
Knight f5, maybe. Ooh,
Yeah,
knight f5. Now we're threatening to take on h3 because if king takes, queen g3 is mate. So we see rook g1 to g2, pawn to h4 defends. Kevin's very low on time. He takes on e3. White doubles. They're both very low. It's going to be a rook versus two pieces. Okay, but black is up a ton of pawns. No? Oh, he doesn't trade queens. Queen check. King back. And now he wins the the knight. Beautiful. Okay. And now rook going after the bishop. He can push
Yeah,
the
rook
e-pawn.
d3. Rook d3 was nice. Okay, well.
Oh,
I mean, okay,
this
that's
just wins the bishop. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy
Okay.
does it. Very
That's
well done
it.
from Kevin. Luxor beats Will. Let's check on Richard versus Ahmed. Okay, looks like Richard's crushing. He's gonna mate this king. Rook check. King e7.
Nice.
Check. King's running for his life. But rook check should
Yeah.
win the queen. Nicely done. Or he'll have mate somewhere. Yeah, just resigns.
Very nice.
Okay, and we have
Yeah.
one game left. Richard versus Kevin.
Oh, okay, it's still going. But it should be 2-2, I think, after this round.
Okay, let me start updating the results. So Victor gets his first point. We have a point from Sandvoss, so he's 2 for 2. And we have a point for Luxor, the fourth board from Ohio State. So trying to answer back, and it looks like Kevin finishes off his win. And so Ohio State gets to 2.5, but Duke is up to 5.5. So they actually split that round 2-2. And Ohio State, maybe they have a little bit of momentum now, or have got their footing. So they're going to try to get some points back in this third round, starting the second half. But Duke only needs 3 points to win. So do you think?
Yeah, I think that was a really good result. I think like after the first round, 3.5 half, there's always going to be a big response, and I think weathering the storm but still not losing the round is pretty impressive. So yeah,
All
I
right.
think another 2-2 split would be excellent in round 3.
Yeah, and that would get you to 1 point within winning. So you only need 3 out of the next 8 games to win. And yeah, I think Ohio State, they're running out of time to answer back. So we'll see what happens in round 3. The game should be starting very soon. How many teams did you guys register this season?
We only had 4.
Only. So how many did you have last time?
I think we had 5 or 6.
Okay. So is there any reason for that? Did you have like a lot of people graduate?
Yeah, I think the other thing is that unfortunately, like after the fall, I think a lot of people were not interested in playing CCL, even though we told them that it was a team format. I think they, like, I don't know. I feel like the individual format kind of threw a few people off, and also maybe the semester is busy for some people. I mean, our D team has like the full 8 players, so and they regularly like double forfeited matches. So I mean, I don't really know.
All right. Well, sounds fair. I will say that we are expecting the fall season to be team format again, so that should be good news for your club.
Yes. We have some people that we know who are coming in the incoming class who we've already been training with for other stuff, and they're very excited to play. So
Awesome.
I'm not sure actually if our A team will be in Division 1 next year, but yeah.
That would be a first, right, for your club?
Yeah. So we won Division 2 last year, and this year we finished 7th in Division 2.
Okay. So step back.
Sensitive. And I think next year we're getting a guy in who's hoping to make FM or IM, probably FM by the time he starts, and he'll be our highest rated. But I mean, with an FM, I don't think I mean, probably we'd prefer to play in Division 2 and be at the top of Division 2 than be at the very bottom of Division 1. Because I think Division 1 is quite strong. I don't know what the rating cutoff is, but I know we were towards the top of the Division 2 this year. So I don't know, but
yeah. Well, we had a Division 2 cap rating of about 2,300. So over 2,300, you're expected to play in Division 1 for the most part. But we'll see as the league grows and players get stronger and more schools and teams register.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, once again being asked to show Kevin. So this is officially a Kevin Ordette stream now. So Kevin's playing Luxor. This is the bottom board from Ohio State, but he did win last round against I believe Will Staples. So maybe Kevin can avenge his teammate.
Yeah, I think the position looks reasonable. I think he's a bit behind in development, and I think he's still going to be okay. The bishop will come to b7. The knight on b8 will come to d7. So I think he has a pretty clear plan of how to finish development, which should be enough.
Okay, knight comes out, hitting the bishop.
I was expecting knight takes f5, knight takes e5, which is why I thought he was going to play knight d7. But
whoa,
interesting. No, he
gives
gave
up that bishop for a knight.
Very strange.
Sorry, you were expecting knight takes on e5?
Yeah, knight takes e5.
That makes sense.
So definitely didn't expect him to give up the bishop pair. That's ill-advised, I'd say.
Yeah. So okay, rook b1. He's trying to defend this b pawn to move the knight, probably to e4. Oh, guess what? We're getting asked to watch Will Staples.
Okay.
So the good Giggly Wiggly, he's playing against Richard Karp, top board from Ohio State. And Will's got his knights connected in there. That's seems somewhat annoying. This pawn on d5 is very strong in black's half of the board, really clamping down on c7, which is a backwards pawn.
Yeah, it's a very nice square on c6 and I could definitely see knight takes b5, knight back to d4, and knight back to c6 at some point. If you can find a way to not have, so probably you have to pair it with f4 first, so that you don't have knight take.
Black needed to play c6 because this plan that you mentioned, bringing back to d4, and now c6 isn't an option.
Yeah, I think so. Here, I'm not sure if you should play bishop f4 or f4, but I think you need to dislodge the knight. Yeah, f4.
F4 for sure.
Okay.
Oh, we see the OSU Chess Club is in the chat cheering on the Afro Dragons, which I actually don't. Is that just like a random name that they came up with, or is that like an official thing?
I mean, that's what they're called on Ace, so.
Well, they have a Twitch channel, so let's shout them out. Does Duke have a chess channel on Twitch?
We do have one, but we're not streaming this today because the guy he normally runs it was busy. But we do have a channel.
And you're here today, so it's all good. Okay, so we do see f4, although we don't see Will putting his knight on c6, at least not yet. I think he's clearing the c file for his rook.
Yeah, I think there's no rush. I mean, until black plays rook c8, there's actually, I mean, even with rook c8, there's like you can't really ever move the c pawn, so there's really no rush.
All right, so yeah, Will has all day, but Richard's gonna continue to try to fight. He's putting a rook on the e file. He's also up on time, up a minute. So Richard putting the bishop back, underdeveloping, but helping defend the c pawn.
And there's a double attack on the e pawn right now, so maybe rook e1.
Yeah.
Maybe you.
Okay,
well,
queen defending. All right, back to Kevin we go. Kevin against Luxor.
He's doing very well as well.
Yeah, he's attacking.
The most important thing, he's doing well on the clock. So.
Is that the most important for Kevin?
That is the most important thing for Kevin.
Is Kevin getting the time issue?
Yeah, because I mean he's almost always have a great position, and then he's always in time trouble, and I think that's why the first game boiled out to a draw. I mean there were mistakes on both sides, but I think he was winning at some point.
Who did you say never flags? Kevin's, but okay, so he's in time pressure, but he lives in the time pressure.
Yeah.
Like that's his home.
He lives in the time pressure.
He's like Bane from Batman. Instead of the darkness, it's time pressure. Never
Yeah.
mind. All right, we'll move on. Okay, well, he hasn't moved in a while though. But what do you like so much about his position?
I mean, I think it's purely just piece placement. I think the bishop on e2 is basically a pawn, and the knight on a4 has no scope. Now, to be fair, I have no idea why he played bishop c8, because the bishop on b7 was pretty good. I mean, I think he's trying to defend the b6 pawn, but I mean, he kind of undeveloped the bishop.
Yeah, his bishop was on this long diagonal, and now he's put a rook on a semi-open d file to guard this b pawn. So,
yeah, I don't know about that, to be honest, because you can also never really play b5, because now with the rook on b7, there's knight takes c5 with tempo, so I don't really understand this plan, but he also spent quite a bit of time on it, which makes me also not understand what he's doing, but maybe
he has a
maybe his
master
idea
plan.
is E5.
Kevin's
E5.
plans are beyond our understanding. Of course,
Yeah.
Kevin's gonna figure out a way to show us all wrong.
I think e5 here. e5 probably has to be played, maybe.
E5 maybe has to be played, maybe.
Yeah.
The confidence.
I'm not looking at the engine because I wanna test how accurate I am.
You're showing your knowledge of the position. Okay, he puts a knight on d4, which is traded off immediately, and now he's contemplating how to take back. He's got three options. Bishop takes makes the most sense to me, personally.
Yeah, I think bishop takes looks very reasonable. And I think queen takes just drops a pawn.
Well, I looked at the engine. Queen takes apparently is the top recommended move.
I guess you have takes on b2. You have takes on b2.
And also, Kevin played it.
Yeah, after taking on b2. I mean, you have to take. Yeah. So I don't think you can really take on b6.
His rook is hit.
Yeah, I think just rook b8.
Okay,
which is
back.
What you needed anyway. I think you need to play bishop b7 and trade off those bishops. So, yeah, I expect bishop b7 and just sack b6.
I want to check out your top board, Richard versus Victor, and Victor's very low on time, but seems to be the favorite. So. Ooh,
okay.
Computer hated that move after the move c5. Yes, taking advantage of the rook's defense of the a file. So if rook takes c5, black promotes. And now Richard grabs the g pawn. Or sorry, Richard's in a tight position here. He's trying to get his king over to defend, but Richard is going in Pac-Man mode, gobbling up all these pawns.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the best idea here is, but probably like a king d3, king c4. Yeah, I don't think black is playing this very well, but it's still winning, but
well, he is in time pressure, so it makes sense.
That's true. Okay, my plan I guess is wrong. Oh, wait, that's definitely wrong. Rook takes a2. Yeah, this is a draw now, for sure.
2 seconds. Rook f2, surely. Oh, king. Okay, here and now rook c2.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're just winning that pawn by force, but it's still a draw. So.
Well, Richard might push for the win because his opponent has 5 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be a bit careful though, because I mean, black has the outside passers, so. I mean, that's a nice one. Yeah, that's very nice.
He cuts the king off to the back rank. Seriously, I think Richard's going to push for the win.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he sees any danger.
He's up in material now.
I think at the very least he can always get away with just checking the king.
Look at that. Computer loves white now. F4 to F5. Oh, he didn't do it.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if
Black
will find a way to stop that. Yeah, I think F4 is coming anyway.
He's pushing the wrong pawn.
I mean, you can push F4.
Now F4, yeah.
There's really no way to make progress, I think, for black. So
F4. Come on, Richard. There it is. 2 seconds, 1 second, 3 seconds. Rook check.
now rook h6, and it's over.
Wow. So the time pressure. Check, but now
just don't play king
don't
takes.
take the
Don't play
pawn.
king
Yeah,
takes.
don't take the pawn. What do you do here? Do you play F2? But now king F3. Yeah, I was thinking rook back to H1, but okay, now king G3. Oh, doesn't really matter. Give a rook check. Yeah, force the king back, and now push your pawns again.
Yeah, and the point is, I guess you're gonna sack on H2 eventually.
Oh. 1 second. Check. King up. And now...
It has to play rook H. Oh, wait, no, let's just take that. Yeah. Let's take
or
on
you
H2.
can play F6. Actually, no,
Okay.
the rook would take. Never mind.
That's
okay,
fancy,
now rook check.
Yeah, rook check. E7, probably. Oh, okay.
Bring the king. It doesn't matter. That's going to be a win. Will beat Richard. So
nice.
Richard Karp for Ohio State is struggling over there on board 1.
Yeah, well, I think I know. So, he was playing in the Cincinnati Open this weekend. So, he's playing this like right after a very long classical game. So, that's very understandable.
So he's tired.
Yeah, I mean, he's also playing on his phone. So
on the mobile. So Richard Sandvoss, he is 3 for 3. No, there's 1 point needed, but Kevin might get it here. And how's Andy doing? Andy seems to be losing on time. Less than 10 seconds.
This position looks kind of interesting. Maybe we'll look at this for a bit.
2 seconds, 1 second. With 1 second left, Andy plays queen F7. Computer does not like that because it drops to E5. Wow, doesn't play it. 2.8 seconds left.
Very strange. And I have no idea what other player is doing, but especially Ahmed, because it's so much time.
Oh, Kevin did win. So Kevin clinches the match for for Duke C team.
Wow.
Yeah, he just.
Yeah, I'll say that was not what I expected. This is not what I expected from this match.
What were you expecting?
I was expecting it to be very close, potentially go to tie breaks.
Wow. Well, the Ohio State team unfortunately had a tired roster today. They double booked the top board.
I think it has to be that because he went 0 for 4, right?
He's 0 for 3 right now. There's still 1 round left.
Yeah, I mean, winning with a round to spare, like, doesn't happen for us. I mean, almost every match we've played this season has ended like 9-7 or 8.5, 7.5. I think the one we lost to them was a 10-6, and then we beat one other team 10-6, and I think every other match was very close. So we've never won a match with a round to spare, I don't think.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a very impressive result. So congratulations to Duke C. They win the Division 5 finals. So you said you won Division 2 finals last year, and now you won Division 5 finals this year.
Yeah, I think we won Division 5 last spring. No, I think we finished 3rd in Division 5 last spring. But we won Division 5 the year before. We've won Division 3, I think. We've won Division 6.
Well, you guys are definitely not a stranger to winning championships, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
oh my God, is there? Oh, I was gonna say, is there king takes F4 and then mate with a pawn? But no, there would be king takes H5 there. But okay, Ahmed's gonna win this. So we see Andy resigns, but too little too late for the Ohio State team. At least Andy gets their first point on the board. And we do have this 4th and final round, a customary round at this point, as the results don't really matter. We've seen players play bomb clouds and all sorts of wacky openings in times like these. Do you expect anything goofy from your Duke players?
Honestly, I have no idea. We'll see. I mean, I assume that in their group chat they're going wild, but yeah.
So, okay, nothing out of the ordinary here. A 1b3 move from... This is the Richard versus Richard match. This might be, bigger than the championship title itself. We have one Richard who's 3 for 3 and one Richard that's 0 for 3. Who's your favorite here?
I think Richard's been playing well today. I think he's 3 out of 3, which is,
Oh, no.
I mean, okay.
I was going to say,
I mean,
Richard is obviously the favorite here. I think Richard's going to win this.
That was, I mean, shocking. At the time when I said Richard is 3 out of 3, where that's also ambiguous, and then he just blunders a rook.
Well, yeah, I thought you were going to make a playing a joke of like, oh, Richard's the favorite because they're both Richard, but
yeah, well, so the thing is in the last match, Richard was also our board 1, and he went 0-4 in our first match, and I was hoping that this time the other Richard would go 0-4, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
So there's 1b3 opening strikes, and there's a free rook and pawn for Richard Karp. So he struggled at the beginning, but it looks like he's gonna get his revenge on the Duke Richard. So
maybe we can look at Andy's board. I think he told me in the group chat. He was like, "Hey, you should look at my games." I don't think we ever looked at his game.
So Andy plays a Queen's Gambit accepted. Well, yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of fans for Kevin and Will in the chat. Richard is your top board, of course. He's perfect so far, although struggling right now. Although the game's not over, who knows? We might see a miracle comeback. But yeah, Andy, tell us a bit about him.
He did tell me before the round. He was like, "If I make a big blunder, don't say anything."
Really? So... Don't even mention it.
Just and we happened to be there when he blundered. So yeah.
Well, he's playing against Luxor now, the bottom board from Ohio. And honestly, I like his position. I like these positions a lot for white with the bishop on d3 because a lot of times you can play the move e5, which is exactly what he's done. And this opens up your bishop on that diagonal pointing at h7. So sometimes there can be tactics there.
Yeah, I think I've played these kinds of structures against Andy several times. I think I go for a slightly different structure with c5, but yeah, he's very comfortable in these structures.
Whoa, knight takes instead of queen takes. Now there's got to be, there's the Greek gift.
Bishop h7, knight
needed.
g5.
I was going to say, after queen takes, sometimes you can even play for h4 to try to get this knight g5 follow-up check after the Greek gift sacrifice. So
yeah, I think he's gonna. I think probably he might. I mean, Luxor might play king h8 to be honest, because
king h8's the top recommended move, but knight g5 all the same, and your plan is to play queen h5.
But after king takes h7, is knight g5 force mate?
It's reading at +7, so the king has to go to g6.
Okay,
and then
that's pretty
queen
typical.
g4.
Great gift setups. But normally there's a mate. If there's no mate, he might just take. Yeah. If there's no mate, then
here king g6, but now queen g4. It's the only winning move. Oh, and he doesn't do it. This allows for black to take on d4, but he doesn't do that either. Now queen g4 again.
Yeah,
these
I'm not
players
sure
aren't
how
using a lot of their time.
How do you not play queen g4 is my question.
Yeah.
I mean that looked like the most logical moves. I don't know.
Well, it's definitely the top recommended move, and Luxor plays knight f5 rather quickly and doesn't take. Oh, but now he takes, and the computer loves h5. h5, king h6, knight takes f7 check. Oh my god, he doesn't play it. And now the computer likes knight takes e5, attacking the queen. He gives up both d and e pawns. What a mess of a game after the Greek gift. h5 is still the top recommended move, but it's only -1 for black.
I think the reason he hasn't played h5 is because he doesn't see a follow-up after king h6.
Well, he had the beautiful knight f7 in the previous game because queen to g6 was mate. But now with the knight on e5, it covers that g6 square.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, the knights are defended. You can just plop the queen back, try to play like f4 or something, and go for it again.
Well, computer wants queen to f4.
Into
Which
f4. Yeah, I mean, setting up more kinds of ideas. Queen f4 is logical. What is the idea though after? Oh,
there's
yeah. I
only
mean, if he
one
plays,
winning move for black, and
if he
that
plays
move,
like f6, it probably loses, right? f6 just loses to knight takes e6.
yeah, the
So,
threat is a discovery with an attack on the queen with the knight. So black logically has to attack this queen.
so knight d3.
Knight d3 is the only move that holds initiative for black.
I mean, I could see that, but after knight d3 and rook
There's
d1,
well, no, knight d3 you'd play queen d2 to try to stay on
queen
that
d2,
diagonal,
right?
and then
Right.
you can take on b2, which again tries to trade queens, which is very, very interesting line. So
I'm glad
plenty
we
of
looked at
chess
this game.
left. Oh yeah, well
This is a very
Andy
interesting.
said not to point out his blunders, but he's making it hard for us.
Well, he's playing interesting chess, so I mean that's all
Oh
we want,
yeah,
right?
we're definitely entertained. I mean, I would love to have seen him just crush, with the Greek gift, but he's kind of botched it a little bit. But the game goes on.
I mean, I think if the evaluation is 0.9 for black, that means that white is doing very well because the king is on h6. I think this I'm okay. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure if you ask most players, they'd prefer to be white here, even if they knew the evaluation.
That eval bar though, eval bar knows all. So
True, but I mean, let's say you only have access to the eval bar for the next 5 moves. I mean,
that's all I
navigating
need.
this, I don't know. I mean, the king is all the king has is king takes h5 right now. I mean, you'd have to play something like g6 to open up the g7 square, but I mean, the king is looking very dicey. Not
Well,
sure what he's thinking about here, but
he's thinking of knight takes f7. He's like, man, I gotta have some. That's a discovered double check, by the way. There's no king h5 there, but there is king h7. He's trying to figure out, is there a follow up? He's got another knight g5 check, but is it enough? And
yeah, but after king g8, there's nothing. So yeah, there's nothing after king g8. I mean, I thought he was calculating rook d1, but rook d1 just loses because knight takes f4 just wins a rook. So
Richard Karp did win against Richard Sandvoss. He does go knight f7.
well,
The old discovered double check.
I mean, maybe he'll take on h5.
Nope, we're not gonna see that. Bach Heitman. SLU did win 9-7. I forgot Bach's final score, but it was definitely Robbie who was the MVP. He went 3.5 out of 4. Yeah, Bach had a draw in the first round against Josiah Stearman. You'll have to go watch the VOD, honestly. Go back.
I thought that Josiah went to Berkeley, so I guess
Josiah graduated. He's a master's student, I believe, at Mizzou now.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I had been following him for a while when he was at Berkeley. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately,
I guess there's no limit. There's no limit on eligibility, like with Pan Ams. You can play as many times as you want, I guess.
We haven't implemented a limit, but you have to just be a fully enrolled student. That's all we ask.
Cool.
So I don't know if there's any PhD chasers out there, but we allowed, a player that was an MD PhD student. So obviously, if you do undergrad, that's about 4 years. It takes even longer. But MD PhD is typically an 8-year program, so you could play in the Collegiate Chess League for over a decade. Now, how many times that's actually happened? Well, I mean, the CCL has only been around since 2020. But okay.
Yeah, maybe I should tell my sister to play. She's an MD PhD student.
Yeah, I mean, where does she go?
She goes to the University of Cincinnati. She doesn't play much chess though, so.
Darn. Well, if Cincinnati needs a player for longevity, yeah, you should tell her to join their club.
Yeah, I don't think she's super interested in chess, unfortunately, but I can try.
Well, the MD PhD student that I know was Julian Landau, who was a FIDE master, so he was one of the better players at UCLA.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it's definitely different if you're well, especially if you're titled, but at least if you're at least a serious tournament player.
okay,
Um,
let's check
yeah.
on maybe Will's game. Looks like his opponent is in some severe time pressure. Less than 15 seconds. Victor. Victor's the
Yeah.
point leader for Ohio State, so he's been
Just rook
playing the.
c8 here. Don't want to give up the c file. You want to at least contest the c file.
Okay, he's going after the D pawn, which is isolated.
Maybe
Ooh,
rook d6. Ooh.
the computer was calling for bishop g4. Just trying to
Bishop
trade off
g4 and then bishop f3, maybe? Oh, I mean, there was knight takes, but...
Yeah. So somewhat interesting.
Wait,
And
does that not just blunder a piece?
the
The
blunder,
pawn is on
the
e5.
pawn, yeah, bishop g4. It's interestingly not saying knight takes g4, which I don't really understand why.
Okay, here the idea is queen f3, but there's knight e3, so...
Pawn. And now,
So bishop takes c4. Yeah, bishop takes c4 and queen f... Oh, wait, no, there's a queen on d1. Never mind.
yeah, I don't want to connect the center pawns. So maybe just bishop d5. Oh, he does take on c4.
What if he hallucinated like me and thought there was no queen on d1? It actually happened at the U.S. Team South. I was playing on one of the teams, and in the last round, I was playing way down, and it was in a great position. But I thought my I thought my queen was a rook, and I just blundered the exchange. And I was just fighting the entire game, and somehow I won. But yeah, that was an interesting tournament. Duke ended up winning, so we're playing the national playoff end of April.
Ah, congratulations.
Yeah.
Okay, let's check in with Kevin. Kevin's extremely low on time, but the position's reading even. Rook and pawn endgame.
Those are always tricky, especially with active kings.
Yeah, black has this B file, which is very annoying.
I think like the whole idea was probably like some sort of rook h8, rook h2 type stuff.
Okay, wait, can we take on e6? No, king back. Oh, but that gives up the f pawn. Check. Okay.
Yeah, take on f3. Yeah.
King takes f3, but then there's rook takes e6, and then there's rook h2, king c1. Okay, black doesn't want to give up the pawn so easily.
Okay, is there some sort of Tempe stuff here with takes on e2?
Andy lost his game, by the way, to Luxor.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, okay, yeah, king e2 probably.
Yeah. Andy unfortunately could not convert his Greek gift. Ooh, and now I'm looking at Will's game.
Oh yeah.
Whoa. How do you... Oh, the rook was pinned. Okay, so Will just wins. And now we have Kevin. So both Will and Richard go 3 out of 4. And now it's down to Kevin, who's trying to get a draw.
Yeah, I mean,
So what? Black just wins the f-pawn, and then...
I mean, the thing is, like, white has the black king has no entry, right? If the black king can get to b3, then this is probably maybe winning. Just trading the rooks off.
That's impossible.
There's no entry, so just keep the rooks just shuffling back on the second rank,
So
and there's no progress.
Or not up a pawn. It's just even. Even Steven.
Yeah, the other thing is, like, you can never really justify playing e5 because it kind of opens up more weaknesses. Yeah, and they're just gonna play rook h2. Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
computer liked white for a second there.
I think Kevin's decided he just wants to make a draw and end the match. So I mean,
He wants the season to continue forever. He doesn't want the season to end. This is the official last game of the match and last game of both these teams' seasons.
I don't know exactly why they're still playing this, but
The winner of this game actually wins the match. I've just decided.
yeah, rook e2. Yeah, all right. Don't allow any funny business with e5, but even e5 wouldn't do anything. So I mean,
I mean, Ahmed's trying to flag Kevin, perhaps, but we've heard earlier that Kevin never flags.
yeah, no, he's not gonna flag him.
King e2. Staying towards
Why
the
not
center.
king c2?
Yeah,
I
I
guess,
would have
okay.
played king c2 as well, I think, upon an initial thought. But the
Actually,
king, the
king
rook,
c. I mean,
rook doesn't have any
yeah,
entrance.
I think king c2 actually would have been less accurate because then that freezes up your own king, and then naturally the black king can get out. So probably king e2 is better because there's no
Exactly.
like rook d2 stuff. Yeah, I mean Kevin is playing this very precisely. He's not letting the black king enter anywhere. Anytime it does enter, there's checks.
Oh,
Okay, finally plays e5.
we have a pawn push. We have a pawn push, people. Okay, rook e2.
Okay.
Can you force the rooks off?
Well, I
No.
mean, I thought he had king e3, king d4 maybe, but okay, now it's a rook trade. But
No.
if he trades, he
Black will
might just leave
check.
the rook.
Black will check. Rook f5. Yep. King back. Yep. Another check. Nope. King up, you get checked again. Kings. Ugh. We're gonna play another like 49 moves and then d4. Oh no, d4
Okay.
right now. Wow. Okay.
All right,
Okay.
rook f4. Oh no, not rook f4.
So
Interesting.
two
Okay.
pawns to two pawns.
I don't understand Black's approach. I think Black actually. I mean, I think Black is not make. I think White actually has better chances.
I mean, black is they're deeper in the position. They have more space.
Yeah, but I mean,
Their pawn is isolated,
like-
yes, but
like the a4. I feel like you could win the a4 pawn. Like if Black's doesn't do exactly what they're supposed to do, then you could probably win the a4 pawn. And then it would still probably be a draw, but
I don't know. I don't know. Winning that a4 pawn, there's some serious outside pass pawn chances there. But how do you propose to win the a pawn? You need to get the rook behind.
well, I have to. I'm not sure because like if you just play like I don't know. Okay, so
Rook check.
king c5. Yeah, so like
Now
rook
rook
a5
a5.
here. It's too committal. With little time, you can't calculate like rook g2, king back, king d3. Is there like something with like c3 and is there some mate or something? But it's too much to calculate. So I mean, he's not going to play it. But I don't actually know. I mean, it's not winning clearly, but based on the eval. But I didn't see a reason to allow this. Like if you were trying to win the game. But I guess if you didn't push the pawns, there was no progress. So I don't. Maybe you try for rook g3 and rook b3 or something. That could be an approach. Yeah.
One thing's for sure, Ahmed is a fighter. They might get a repetition at this point.
I wonder if they're I wonder if they were looking to see if people were pre-moving and then they could just win a rook.
All right, there's the draw. That's a 101 mover right there to end the match. And the final score, Duke gets their revenge with the same score that they were beat earlier, 10-6. So a very, very fitting end results for the season. And we have the top 3 players from Duke C getting 3 out of 4. Very impressive end results. So congratulations to Duke. They win $800. Naga, anything you'd like to say to the Duke fans and your team while they're watching?
Yeah, I mean it was an excellent performance. Yeah, just congrats to the players. Yeah, and thanks for the opportunity to play in the league once again. It's been a great help for us.
Yeah, the pleasure's all mine. Thank you guys for playing. It's always a pleasure, and hopefully you guys come back bigger and stronger next year. And like you said, have some stronger players, and maybe even more teams. So good luck to you guys, and yeah, congrats on a good finish to your season.
Thank you. All right. See ya.
So we're going to end with 2 more matches later today. We have an hour before the next match, so we're going to end with a raid, and I'll be back at 6 p.m. Pacific. We have 2 last matches left, so in an hour from now, we will have University of Ottawa actually playing against BYU for the Division 10 third place. And then the last match of the day will be at 7 p.m. Pacific. That is between Illinois' C team and Cal State Monterey Bay in Division 11 finals. So thank you all for being here and for watching. I really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll be back in about 45 minutes. So hopefully I'll see you all back then. And yeah, we'll have a couple more special guests as well. So be sure to check out who's joining me for these last 2 matches of the day. All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care and stick around for the raid. I'll see you in 45 minutes. Bye.